Okay, so today I want to implement this model that I created in Blender of this character into Unreal. So unfortunately I didn't make any videos of the making of this model, um, but that's okay. I've got on top of the model, I've got it all rigged up and I have a bunch of animations, and I'm really happy with the way it looks. I think I did a pretty good job of making this. I used Anthony Mackie as the model just to test my abilities to do likeness with character modeling. But I'm dying to see what it looks like when it's all implemented in Unreal. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to shut down Blender, and with Unreal Engine open, I'm going to create a third person, and it's going to be in Unreal. I made a folder called Futuristic Soldier. Select folder, and the project is going to be called the same name, Futuristic Soldier. Create, and that's going to take a moment. Okay, so when the project is created, this is what you should see. After it was created, I went into the content folder and I created a Futuristic Soldier folder. And in there, I created all these folders: animations, blueprints, FBX, materials, models, and textures. And I, in those folders, I dragged and dropped all the FBXs into the FBX folder, and all the textures into the texture folder. So now I need to go into, first I'm going to go into models. I'm going to click import. I'm going to get the default pose, and I'm going to get the gun. And that's going to take a moment. I mentioned that this window pops up, and I don't think I need to change anything here. So I'm just going to press import. And that should just be a few moments. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it's all imported. So I'm going to save all. It's going to get rid of all these stars. That means it hasn't been saved. So all those stars are disappeared. I'll save here, and I'll press also save all here as well. So if I go ahead and just say open up the skeletal mesh, it looks pretty good except for the boot. The faces are, the normals are flipped, so I won't have to fix that, but I want to worry about that later. Close that, and also the gun, which is a static mesh, I believe. Okay, that looks fine. So I'm going to go into the animations folder, and I'm going to import all the animations. So I've got a whole bunch of them. Okay, so I think that's all of them. press open. It's going to give me this window, and I just need to make sure that under skeleton I need to select the default pose that I just imported into my models folder, and I need to make sure that import animations is also clicked. And so I'm going to press import. And that'll also take a moment. Okay, so with all that imported, I'm just going to save all. There's a lot of animation, so it's taking a long time. Almost there. Save up here. And save here. Okay, I also quickly went into Blender, and where is he? I flipped all the normals so they're all matching now, so open up the skeletal mesh. The boot is no longer flipped, and also his gloves, his right glove was flipped as well. So that's all fixed up. I'm gonna deal with the materials later. I think it looks fine. I usually create new materials, but there's so many, as you can see, there's so many material slots. I've got like a material for like each of the components, and it's just going to take way too much time for this video, so I'm actually going to skip that. So instead, I want to go into the blueprints folder, and there's 3 things I need to create. The first thing is a character blueprint. This one's going to be Futuristic Soldier underscore blueprint. Right click, animation blueprint. It's asking for the skeletal mesh, so I'm going to choose the Futuristic Soldier default pose that I imported. And this one's going to be called fs underscore nmvp. Actually, I need to rename this one to instead of underscore blueprint, just underscore VP. It's a simpler name convention. And one last one. Where is it? Animation. Oh, blend space, okay. Same thing, it's asking for skeletal mesh, so fs default pose, fs idle walk run underscore BSP. So I'm going to quickly open up the BSP. Let's dock it up here. first thing that I like to do is I like to go to axis settings. So horizontal and vertical, I'm going to open those up. And the horizontal, which is the horizontal of this graph, is going to be speed forward. Minimum axis is minus 1200. And maximum value is 1200. In 6 subdivisions. So which means the dead center is 0. It's 1200 to the right and minus 1200 to the left. And it's divided into 6 sections. So there's 3 sections, one to the left and one to the right. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Speed side minus 1200. 1200. And 6 subdivisions, so it's 1200 up and minus 1200 down, and there's also 6 sections. So for the idle, I'm going to grab the idle animation from here. I'm going to drag and drop it right in the middle. And after that, walk is going to go here at 400 in the positive. And run. Where's run? There it is. It's going to go all the way at 1200. So if I press Control and move this little green thing over, I see a nice transition, the animation. Let's turn it to the side. And I'll do it again. Press Control, grab this green thing. That looks alright. So I'm just going to save that. I'm going to go back into here and then save all. Okay, so I'm going to open these other two up, the NMBP and the regular BP, the regular blueprint. So first in the regular one, I'm going to, under mesh here, there's no mesh specified, so I'm going to go to skeletal mesh, get my FS default pose, and as you can see, he's a little bit high. I'm going to right view and bring him down. Units are set to 10 units, so it's snapping to these squares on the grid. So instead of 10, I want to move it to 1, so it can be a little bit more accurate. And I just want it to be the bottom of his feet to be at the bottom of that capsule. I'm going to go back into perspective, and he needs to be facing the direction of this arrow. This arrow indicates the forward vector of this blueprint. So I'm going to rotate him 90 degrees. And I'm also going to size him down. I'll scale him down so that scale is also It's also snapping. It would be a little bit more accurate. So just inside the capsule is fine, I guess, like that. And the capsule looks kind of fat, so radius, just around his torso, I guess that would be like a good radius. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. And I want to go into the NMBP. I'll compile this. NMBP. First I need to right click. First I'll compile this. I need to grab this blend space that I created in here, so I'm going to right click, FS, idle, block run, blend space, and I need to create some variables. So this one's going to be called speed forward, and the type is going to be a float. I'm going to create one more. This one's going to be called speed side. So I'm going to grab the forward, drag it out, and it's going to ask if I want the get speed forward or set speed forward. I want to get the get. I'm getting whatever values in there. I'm not setting the value. And the same here. Get speed side, and I want to plug these into here. So whatever values are stored in here are going to feed into these values. So the horizontal axis and vertical axis. So the range of values is between 1200, minus 1200 and 1200 for both the horizontal and vertical axis. So these values within that range are set in the NMBP with these variables. So after this, I'm going to pull out, and I am looking for slot default pose. I'm not going to explain this right now, but it has to do, I think, with montage animations. It's not going to be used at the moment, but I'm going to add it anyways for now. So this part's done. So if I compile, he's playing the idle animation now. So I want to go into the event graph. And here, I'm going to go up here, right click. I'm going to get event begin play. And from here, I'm going to pull out and get cast to FS BP. Over here, I'm going to pull out and get try get pawn owner. So basically, I'm getting a reference to the regular blueprint, and I'm going to pull out of here, and I'm going to promote it to a variable, and it's going to be called FS BP at the bottom left corner here. And if I press enter, it's going to be named there. So all I'm doing is I'm getting this blueprint, and I'm storing it as this variable. The reason I'm doing that is because down here, this variable that I set here, I'm going to get over here. So I'm going to pull out, and it's going to ask me if I want to get or set. So I'm going to get a get FSBP. So I'm getting a reference to this. And from here, from this event blueprint update animation I'm going to pull out and get is valid. So I'm going to check, oh, this is the wrong one. Pull up once more, is valid. I think it's this one. So I'm checking to see if this FSBP is valid, and if it is, I'm going to set these values. So I'm going to set values. Oops. So I'm just going to plug these in sequence. Okay, so from this FSBP, I'm going to pull out and get velocity, the speed of its movement at any point. I want to get factor forward vector, get factor side, oh not side, right vector. So I'm going to pull out of here and get a dot product. So the forward vector times the speed of the character's movement at any given point is going to be calculated by basically multiplying these two values, and then that value is going to be plugged into speed forward, and in turn that value is going to be plugged into the BSP, and it's going to tell this BSP which where along this graph he should be, so like which animation should be playing. So the speed of the character is going to dictate which animation. And I'm going to do the same thing. Pull out of here. Dot product. And this one is going to be plugged into speed side. Okay, so I think that's good. I'm going to go into here, and with mesh selected, there was no animation. So under animation, there's animation mode, so use animation blueprint. So I need to specify which blueprint, so I'm using FSNMBP. So it's getting the animation from this animation blueprint. Okay. I'm going to add a spring arm. Whoops, I'm going to delete that. Try that again. Spring arm. There we go. Make sure before I had this selected, I want to have the root selected instead. So spring arm, and with the spring arm selected, I'm going to add a camera. And when I do that, it adds the camera to the end of that spring arm, which is exactly what I want. And I'm gonna, with the spring arm selected, I'm gonna bring it up. Usually, with a human scale character, you want the tip of this spring arm to be around his chest area, to his chest height. And basically the camera, as the spring arm like rotates or whatever, the camera just follows this line. It's constantly like, I guess, attached. So few things that I need to change are some settings here. So under character movement, I'm going to look for, so I'm going to scroll all the way down, and there's one thing here called orient rotation to movement, and I want to check that. So that basically means whenever I use the WSAD keys to move, he's going to rotate to whatever direction I'm pressing, regardless of which direction the camera is facing. That's a pretty common thing for third-person setups. Let's select the spring arm. And I'm going to click Use Pawn Control Rotation. So basically this is the movement of the mouse. The mouse is going to rotate the spring arm, which in turn is going to rotate the camera around. It's going to orbit around the player. I'm going to go to the root. I'm going to scroll all the way down to where it says pawn. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, pawn. And I'm going to uncheck, it says use control rotation off, which means the character is going to constantly rotate with the control rotation, which is the mouse rotation, or the yeah. So if the player is moving the mouse left and right, then the character is going to rotate with it. It's basically going to rotate with the camera, which is not what we want. It's good for maybe third-person shooter, but we're not going to start off in that mode. We might use it later. So for now, I'm going to uncheck that. And I'm going to compile that. Okay, so I'm quickly going to go to here, and I'm going to save all, save selected, and I'm going to go to this project settings tab. If this isn't open, then just go into edit and click on project settings. And once you're here, I'm going to go into go to input, and I'm going to create some action mappings and axis mappings. So action mappings, I just need one, and it's going to be called run, and it's going to be mouse, right mouse button. So he's going to run when I'm pressing the right mouse button. For the axis mappings, I need make 6 of them. First one's going to be called move forward. Second one's going to be called move right. Whenever I name these, they all close on me, so I have to open them up again. So this one's going to be turn right. This one's going to be turn. This one's going to be look up right. The last one's going to be called look up. Oops. Open these up. So look up rate and turn right aren't going to be used at the moment, so I'm just going to leave those. Move forward, move right, they need two inputs. So for the move forward, we need keyboard and W, and the scale is going to be 1. And the second one is going to be keyboard S, and the scale is going to be -1 because that's moving backwards. W is moving forwards, S is moving backwards. For move right, keyboard D is going to be 1, so D is moving right, which is +1. Moving left is going to be keyboard A, and the scale needs to be -1. For the turn, which is left and right with the mouse, it's going to be mouse X, and the scale is 1. For the look up, this one's going to be mouse Y, but I'd like to make this -1 because I find it feels way more natural if the camera movement is flipped. So as I move the mouse downwards, the camera should be looking up, and if I move the mouse up, if I slide it forwards, then the camera should angle downwards. So I think that's more intuitive. I think that's usually how it's set up in all games. So that's the basic setup of all the inputs. So I'm going to go back to the blueprint and to the event graph. But instead of doing setting up the inputs here, I'm going to create another graph. Under graphs, I'm going to hit this plus button, and this one's going to be called basic inputs, and it automatically opens up here. So in this graph here, I'm going to take all these inputs and I'm going to lay them all out right here. So first I'm going to get the move forward axis event, move right, make sure you get the axis event, not the axis values, so this one here. I need one called, this run right here, so I'm going to right click, run, action events, and I need two more. I need look up, oops, look up. Keep on clicking the wrong one, not axis values, axis events. And I need turn, axis event. Okay, so I'll start with these two up here. So for these I need add movement input. So I'm going to need two of these. Let's duplicate. These value, this goes in here. And these axis values can go in here. The only thing I need to do is I need to get I need to set the direction of each of these. So get control rotation. So this is the rotation of the mouse. And I'm going to pull out here and get brake rotator. And I want to create another one called make rotator. And I'm making one with just the Z rotation of the mouse. So X and Y is 0. The roll in the picture is 0. Yaw is coming from the mouse yaw rotation. And from here I'm getting get forward vector. So based on the mouse rotation, I'm getting where it's facing forward. You know, I also need to get right vector. I need to also get which way the right of the character. So the forward and then the right of the character. I need to know where it's facing. So I'm going to get those vectors, and that's going to tell me which direction this input's going to be. So that way, if a camera is facing a certain direction and then I press W or forward, then the character is going to turn forward in relation to the direction of the camera. If I press right, the character is going to turn right in relation to the forward of the camera. So I'll select this, press C, call it movements. And I want to show the show bubble. Click this to show bubble. Down here. First I'm going to select this character movement, and under max walk speed, I'm going to change it from 600 to 400. Because if you remember, the walk speed is 400, and then idle 0 walks 400, and 1200 is the run. So I want to stay consistent with that. I want to pull out of here, get the character movement, and set max walk speed. I'll get 2 of these. So if the run button is pressed, the max walk speed is going to be 1200. And once it's released, it's going to go back to the default value, which is 400. And I'm going to select all this, press C, I'm going to call this run, and make sure I click on this to turn on the bubble when I'm far away. And lastly, for the mouse, I'm going to pull out of here and get add control pitch input. And I'm going to pull out of here, add control yaw input. So as the mouse is going up and down, the pitch input of the controller is going to go up and down. So this is going to be this camera. And show bubble. So I'm going to quickly go back. I'm going to save all. And inside of this folder, I'm going to right click. I'm going to click Blueprint Class. And I'm going to create a game mode base. And I'm going to call it FS for Futuristic Soldier underscore GM. Whoops. For GM for game mode. And I'm going to quickly open that up. Once that's open, all I'm going to do is in the default pawn class, I'm going to select FSBP because this is the one that's going to be placed in the world. I'll go back here, go into project settings, under maps and nodes, default game mode, I'm going to change it to FSGM, which is the one that I just created. And I'm going to go back here. Under world settings, I'm going to change game mode override to FSGM. So I'm going to save all. Now if I play, instead of showing the engine's rig, it's going to show my character, hopefully. There we go. And I have to press once for the mouse to work. So it looks like it's working fine. If I move forward, looks pretty good. If I move towards the camera, move right. If I hit the right mouse button and move, then he runs. The only thing is, I think the camera can be a little bit closer. So I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to select the spring arm. Target arm length is 300. So I'll make it like, let's see what 250 does. Compile. It's a little bit better. I'm doing this on a laptop, and that's probably why it's so laggy. I'm not sure if there's any settings that I can turn down to make it less laggy, but I'm going to look into that later on. But that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I just wanted to see what it looks like. It looks okay. I think for the next video I'm going to do the gun equip, and I'm also going to do, I've got some like punching and kicking animations, so basic combat animations, and I'm going to do the gun equip as well as like third person shooting mode where he rotates with the mouse. So that's for the next video. This one was just the basic setup, so hopefully this was useful for anyone that's looking for